trophy. Markey! Don't touch that trophy.
After the stage was set, we now knew it was Oilers versus Panthers for the Cup. But I don't think anyone could have predicted the absolute roller coaster we were about to hop on. On one side, it's the Cup finalists from last year looking for revenge in the Panthers.
Not winning last year, obviously, all the returning guys to be even better. We're very proud to be here.
Today we got the Cup final
Against the
game
comeback from the
7.
dead Oilers.
We can do anything.
One team's gonna be upset.
Ourselves from the dead this year.
Who started the year 2-9-1, fired their coach, and somehow turned it all around to not only make the playoffs, but now the Cup final. And this series has lived up to all the hype. We've had our fair share of
Best of luck
physicality, as
to
things have
both of
certainly
the-
gotten greasy at times.
Best of luck to both the teams, both the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Let the best team win. And also, make sure you make it a good final game. Like Florida, you can't be sleeping. Edmonton, you can't be sleeping. No team sleeping. I want good hockey. Good hockey. Alrighty.
also had some absolutely incredible goaltending from both sides, just at different points in the series, with huge momentum swings and what I believe was a key moment here, swinging this series entirely. We've got all-time playoff records being broken, with a playoff performance rivaling the best of all time. Absolutely hilarious moments.
This is a monumental moment in my life.
I don't feel bad for you.
I think I actually heard that one.
Who's gonna get past Bob? Like, that's the real question.
Your mama is so dumb. She tried to climb Mountain Dew.
And after another remarkable comeback from the Oilers, a chance to witness something the NHL hasn't seen in 78 years.
I'm really excited for the next 10 days.
Plenty to cover in what is officially the final edition of this series for the season, so let's get into it. We'll start with the lead-up. Now, this is the longest distance between teams ever in a Cup final, so how do you kill time?
More TV shows. Yeah. If you got any TV show recommendations, send them along, because I'm running out.
We also got Ekholm thanking Holland, which was pretty great. And with Florida fresh off their run last year, Knobloch was asked if that experience was an edge.
Experience is good. I don't know how much experience is, beneficial. You can ask the Buffalo Bills how important Super Bowl experience is.
The Bills out here catching strays. Speaking of football, Mike McDaniel was asked if he'd be around for Game 1.
Absolutely. I mean, do I have a pulse? I do. I'll be there.
And he was, banging that drum to kick things off. And so with that, it was Game 1, where we had the legendary shirtless kid from the previous series.
This guy behind us.
He likes the interview more than you do.
Give us his prediction.
Gonna beat them 3-0.
Because who's gonna get past Bob? Like, that's the real question.
And what a prediction this was. Bobrovsky was an absolute brick wall in Game 1. Save after save. Dude was straight up breakdancing out there. And being the first game, it meant both teams wanted to show their dominance as the bodies were flying. But ultimately, with the kid making his signature appearance, the Panthers came out and did exactly as he said. Scored 3, somehow kept the Oilers off the sheet, and took Game 1 3-0 in a game they honestly probably didn't deserve.
Maybe it was the hockey gods getting us back for that Game 6, where we probably didn't deserve to win.
But my favorite moment came from this absolute stud.
This is a monumental moment in my life. I have been here since day one of my birth, 2011, and I just can't wait to see my team happily host the Cup. Wow! Let's go!
But with that, let's head over to game 2, where it felt like the Oilers needed a dub. Teams that go up 2-0 win 91% of the time. And so if you didn't want to get goal lead, the new strategy was to not shoot the puck. This game certainly ramped up the physicality. We had big hits all over the place as things got greasy in game 2. And we also got an F-bomb.
Bobrovsky was fucking. Ooh, sorry. I'm sorry.
What a beauty. As for the Oilers, they found themselves without a single shot nearly 9 minutes into the game. And yet, Mattias Ekholm would score the first goal of the final for the Oilers with the first shot of the game. And it was a strategy that seemed to work, as in the second, it took 10 minutes for the Oilers to register a shot, and so Mikkola figured he would help him out, nearly scoring on himself. But then, remembering he needs to shoot the other way, he does so and scores immediately. Florida would then add another early in the third, as it's Rodriguez again. He got his good luck charm in the first game, which led to a goal then, so following suit in the second, sure enough, it worked out again. And again, as he would then add yet another a little while later with Florida up big. So naturally, things got heated near the end of the game, as again, greasy stuff all over the place. But ultimately, the Panthers would now take a huge 2-game series lead over to Alberta, as the Cups got to travel for game 3. And in Rogers Place, we had Maurice thanking the crowd.
I feel bad for the
booze.
people who keep taking out the cup. The people who took it
We
out in
also
game
got
4
CC
and
absolutely
continuously
pissed.
took it
But
out
after
because
an
they thought,
absolutely incredible
"Oh, they're gonna
rendition
win
of
the
O Canada,
Cup."
we'd get to it. With Florida scoring the first, and the crowd, wait, what? A confused Oiler fan or a Panthers fan in disguise. Regardless, game 3 was a nightmare for Edmonton.
game
Stu can't
7
handle this one as
hopefully will go
Tarasenko
into
scored.
overtime.
Then Nurse with a giveaway, and it's Kachuk for Bennett to make it 3-1 before Barkov would then make it 4. Things were gloomy at Edmonton, as I'd love to ask what these fans think now. But with that, this game continued the theme of physicality, as Perry found himself a nice seat on Bobrovsky, but boy, was he not pleased to get a penalty for it.
Do you own your home in Pennsylvania but still rent your electricity? If you pay more than $70 a month in electricity, then you might already know.
Edmonton. Sit down.
He's like, dude, did you not see? I just did. And now you're giving me a penalty for it. But while Edmonton did push for the comeback, getting to within just 1, after another huge stop from Bob, time expired, and yeah, Florida was well on their way.
I'm rooting for Florida, and all the Edmonton fans will now be angry at me if they're watching this, obviously. Hopefully you can hear my audio, because the last couple of videos you couldn't, and we had a sponsor in the 1-hour video, and I talked about, but I didn't link it, so because I lost it somehow. It was from Apple. Thank you, Apple, for sponsoring us. And we got some more sponsors coming your way. So, yeah, I like Corey Perry, and I'm fine with if the Edmonton Oilers win, but I'm like, they shouldn't be in the Cup final. What was Dallas doing? They should, no, this is just, no. It should have been Vegas versus Florida. Vegas was actually a good team.
As it looked like Nurse was bound to make brutal playoff history. And as good as Bob was through 3, I mean, his numbers speak for himself, believe it or not, things were just getting started.
There's a group of men that I want to do this with. It's the guys in that room. You know, I'm really excited for the next 10 days.
And we should have known something was up after this glitch in the Matrix over at Rogers Place, because needless to say, I hope you believed them. The rat exterminators were in the building, and it was time to shake and bake, as the Oilers put an absolute pounding on the Panthers at home. Nurse even getting in on the action with the 5th to get Bob yanked, and while his cousin Sarah was in the building... We also also had the Kachuk family in the building. Not as good of a time for them. But the big moment in this game came at 2-1. Bennett with Verhaeghe, and he is stopped by Skinner in what was a huge moment in Game 4 and in this series, as Skinner kept it 2-1, and Edmonton never looked back. Again, they went
Later
to town
in your
thereafter
career,
and
you'll
took
win
a
a
massive
cup
Game
at
4
some point,
at home. As the Oilers seem to
hopefully
remember,
your time will
you
come
get
in
eliminated if you lose 4.
in
McJesus
Ottawa
broke
where
the
you win
all-time
the
assist
cup.
record in the
And if it
process and
doesn't,
had a
hopefully it'll be
legendary
in like
post-game
Tampa
quote.
Bay
We're gonna go to
or
Florida and drag him back to Alberta.
Drag him back to
Dallas
Alberta,
or
eh? Well, it was going to
Florida
take some magic.
or
And boy,
man,
did we get it. Game
the
5 was
Kachuk
everything you'd hope
brothers
for in a
playing on
playoff
the
hockey
Florida
game. And it
Panthers,
started with
yes.
Perry shooting the puck
And
into
maybe
Florida's
even
empty
the
net
Calgary
after
Flames.
warm-ups.
I
But we
know
had
they would
tensions
be
at
better.
all-time highs, with Zito throwing water bottles and crazy momentum swings. To start, though, it was another huge stop from Skinner, which resembled the one from Game 4 in a big way. And just like Game 4, we had another Edmonton penalty to start, and another shorthanded goal to start, as the Oilers became the first team to ever do so in back-to-back games. The script was suddenly completely flipped. A Booch bomb to start the second.
I want y'all to know how much this is, like how much this means. Florida winning 3 games. And then the Edmonton Oilers coming back 3-3. That hasn't been done since the end of the Second World War. 1945. Think about it. 1945. That was like 80-some years ago.
Then
Maybe
McDavid
70.
down low as he made it 3-0 in what was a brutal start for the Panthers, who did get one back with Kachuk putting one past Skinner, but McDavid slicing and dicing to Perry, and my goodness, just disgusting stuff from McDavid to extend his assist streak. And speaking of records, Bouchard also broke the all-time assist record for defensemen, and while we were in a dogfight, the bodies flying all over the place, Florida getting a couple back, as time was ticking, the net empty, it got us to this. A race for the puck, and Janmark nearly ended it as this one somehow stayed out, but even crazier, shortly after the Oilers dump it, it's en route, and Kachuk makes an all-time empty net save. Just unbelievable. The only problem is it went straight to McDavid, who put the lid on it, as he and the Oilers indeed would drag him back to Alberta, with McDavid back-to-back 4-point nights, first to ever do that, and he's torturing the media. But looking at McDavid's stats, it's insane. He's officially broken the era-adjusted points record in a single playoffs. Just nutty stuff. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, performances we've seen. But that then gets us back to Edmonton for one more time, as this city was electric. Zambonis in the streets, Alberta beef on the streets, and even some premium Berta beef before puck drop to get things rolling. And the Oilers were rolling, all right, as it's the German Dane dishing that sauce with a tasty, tasty feed for Foegele to open the scoring in the first, where the Oilers heavily outshot the Panthers 11-2. But it wasn't until the second, where catching the Panthers on a change, it's Janmark to Henrique with a beauty, far post and in to make it 2, as Rogers' place went absolutely ape, but not so fast. It's Verhaeghe centering it, and they score. It's Barkov just 10 seconds later cutting that lead in half, or did he? Another one of those huge moments, as this one was offside by the smallest of margins, and Paul Maurice was furious. There's no fucking way. Almost losing that gum in the process. Gotta say, balls of steel to challenge it, but it paid off big time, because 2 to go now, Hyman all alone, and he scores. Forehand back.
I said it when it happened, and I said I would not challenge that, because I would not see anything. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a play, and I'd be playing it not dangerously. I wouldn't be playing it risky, because it's the Stanley Cup Finals. If this turned out to be not offsides, this could have possibly ended up bad for the Edmonton Oilers, as they said during the game. They said, hey, they'll get a penalty and they'll have one goal. That could have happened. Like, seriously. The Oilers could have got a penalty, and yeah.
And to blow the roof off of Rogers Place. It was 3-0. A dagger, because while Barkov Danson would score an absolute beauty, it was with the goalie pulled shot Skinner Danson as he puts it onto the tape of Nurse, who would fire it down the ice to send this baby to Game 7. A primary assist for Skinner leaves Bill Zito over here doing his best to not throw another water bottle, but yeah, Rogers Place was unhinged.
We want the cup. The chant from this standing room only crowd.
What a moment, capped off with Shania in the background.
But the weight of being on the wrong side of history will rattle around.
But again, a big moment in this game was that offside.
During
so
the
I thought this was
7th
kind
game,
of funny.
right?
When I would have had to have challenged that based on what I saw, I would not have challenged.
In my mind, it was definitely offside.
We'll get still frames. We bring in the CIA. We'll figure it out.
But
I hope Maurice was joking, and I believe that he was joking when he said, I'm gonna bring the CIA in. Like,
yeah, the Oilers push another flight back to Sunrise, and Draisaitl's not sorry.
I forgot another thing to say. Man, this video is long. Not as long as the 1 hour one. It's interesting watching Paul Maurice and Chris Kopitar, or whatever the Edmonton Oilers coach is, talk about the offsides, because one, Paul Maurice says it was not, obviously because he's the coach of the Florida Panthers, but they also probably didn't see that like I did, and the coach of the Edmonton Oilers said that this was obvious, so Kopitar challenged this. I'm probably just pronouncing his last name wrong. Yeah.
Commercial flights are killing us all, guys, but
I don't feel bad for you. And we all know Game 7 will be incredible. But let me know your predictions down below. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys again for watching. I have truly appreciated it all season. This series has been a blast all year, and hopefully we can do it again next season. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you.
See you next season. I'll actually see you at next season in a whole new series called the NHL Picks of the Month. Yep, we're combining them, and hopefully you guys enjoy those. So